Get ready to boost your portfolio, as NorthFlow Finance AI reveals 5 explosive TSX stock signals that are trending bullish right now, on this exciting day, June 16, 2026. We're kicking off our top TSX stock picks with a company that's just flashed a very intriguing signal, MTA.V. This stock has triggered a moving average golden cross with a significant volume surge, catching our attention and potentially setting it up for a big move. The current price is sitting at $10.79. The MA Golden Cross is a powerful bullish indicator, and when you combine it with a volume surge of over 70%, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. The Relative Strength Index, or RSI, is at 57.1, which puts it in neutral territory, suggesting there's still room for momentum to build. The current price and RSI level suggest that this stock is not overbought or oversold, but rather, it's in a sweet spot for potential growth. The volume surge is a strong signal of investor conviction, and it's likely that we're seeing some institutional interest starting to build. With the RSI in neutral territory, we could see this momentum continue to build, driving the price even higher. This volume change is unusual activity, and it might signal that institutional investors are starting to take notice of this stock. A 70% increase in volume is not something you see every day, and it's likely that this is more than just retail investors driving the action. Medalla recently reported a profitable quarter, with higher revenue in the first quarter, but the stock actually dipped after hours, which is an interesting reaction. This could be a buying opportunity, especially if the company's fundamentals are strong. Viewers should watch for a potential break above the current price level, and a key level to watch is the 50-day moving average. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're looking at Air Canada, trading on the TSX under the ticker AC, and this stock just triggered a very interesting signal, a MACD bullish crossover, accompanied by a significant volume surge. This is a great combination that could indicate a strong upward trend. The MACD bullish crossover is a powerful signal, and when you combine it with the current price of $22.94, it suggests that momentum is building. The RSI, or Relative Strength Index, is at 66.3, which puts it in neutral territory, not quite overbought yet, but definitely showing some strength. The volume surge of 116.2% is also telling us that investors are getting on board, and this conviction could push the price even higher. This volume surge is a key indicator of investor enthusiasm, and it's something we need to pay close attention to. This volume change is not just a small blip, it's a significant increase, and it could signal that institutional investors are starting to take notice of Air Canada. Unusual activity like this often precedes a larger move, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Recent analysis has been checking the valuation of Air Canada after the stock's recent momentum, and it's interesting to see how the signal we're looking at today fits into that bigger picture. This kind of scrutiny can actually be a good thing, as it may draw more attention to the stock and potentially drive up the price. Viewers should watch for the stock to break through key resistance levels, and also keep an eye on the RSI to see if it moves into overbought territory. A pullback could be a buying opportunity, but for now, the momentum is definitely in Air Canada's favor. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're taking a closer look at Amex Exploration, a stock that's caught our attention with a MACD bullish crossover, accompanied by a significant volume surge. This signal suggests a potential shift in momentum, and we're excited to dive deeper into the details. The stock is currently trading at $4.89. The MACD bullish crossover is a strong indication of a trend reversal, and when combined with the recent volume surge of 107.3%, it's clear that investors are taking notice. The current price of $4.89 is supported by a relatively neutral RSI reading of 58.3, which suggests that the stock is not overbought or oversold, leaving room for further momentum. The volume surge is a key indicator of investor conviction, and in this case, it's a clear sign that investors are bullish on the stock's prospects. With the RSI in neutral territory, we can expect the stock to continue its upward trend without any significant pullbacks. The volume surge also tells us that investors are eager to get in on the action, which could lead to further price increases. This unusual volume activity could be a sign of institutional interest, as large investors often drive up trading volumes when they enter a stock. The significant increase in volume is a clear indication that investors are taking notice of the stock's potential. Amex Exploration has recently begun a major drilling program in Ontario, which could lead to significant discoveries and further drive up the stock price. This new development program is a key catalyst for the stock's growth, and we're eager to see how it plays out. As we move forward, Viewers should keep an eye on key resistance levels and watch for any changes in the stock's momentum. A breakout above the current price could lead to further gains, so it's essential to stay tuned for any updates. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're taking a closer look at Histar Ventures, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol HSTR.V, and it's flashing a very interesting signal, a MACD bullish crossover, combined with a significant volume surge. This is stock number 4 of 5 that we're examining today, and it's definitely caught our attention. The MACD bullish crossover is a strong indicator of a potential trend reversal, and when you combine that with a volume surge of 74.5%, it suggests that investors are starting to take notice of this stock. The current price is sitting at $1.90, and the RSI is at 42.7, which puts it firmly in neutral territory, not overbought, not oversold, but rather poised for a potential move. This RSI reading suggests that there's still room for momentum to build, and the volume surge indicates that investors are becoming more convinced about the stock's prospects. The significant increase in volume tells us that there's growing interest in this stock, and that's something we should definitely pay attention to. This volume change is unusual activity, and it might signal that institutional investors are starting to take a closer look at Histar Ventures. A surge like this can be a sign that big players are getting in, and that can be a powerful catalyst for a stock's price. Recent reports have highlighted companies with high insider ownership, and it's worth noting that this can be a very bullish sign. When insiders are invested in their own company, it can indicate a high level of confidence in the business. This kind of sentiment can be particularly important for growth companies, and it's something we're seeing more and more of in the market right now. Viewers should watch for a potential breakout above $2, and also keep an eye on the volume. If it continues to surge, that could be a very bullish sign. A key level to watch will be the 50-day moving average, and if the stock can stay above that, it could be a sign of a longer-term trend. Now let's move on to our next pick. We're looking at a very interesting stock on the TSX, SCZ.V, which just triggered a MACD bullish crossover with a volume surge, a signal that we love to see for potential upside. This signal is particularly exciting because it suggests a shift in momentum, and we're going to dive into the details. The current price is sitting at $11.17. The MACD bullish crossover is a strong indication that the stock is gaining momentum, and with the current price, we're seeing a lot of interest from investors. The RSI is at 53.1, which puts it in neutral territory, not overbought or oversold, so there's still room for momentum to build. The volume surge of 40.3% is also a very positive sign, indicating strong investor conviction. This surge in volume tells us that investors are getting on board, and it's not just a few retail investors, but possibly institutional investors as well. This volume change is unusual activity, and it might signal that institutional investors are starting to take notice of SCZ.V. A volume surge like this can be a sign of a larger trend forming. Recently, we've been hearing about some undiscovered gems in Canada that are worth keeping an eye on, and SCZ.V might just be one of them. This could be a stock that's about to gain a lot of attention, and we're excited to see where it goes from here. Viewers should watch for a potential breakout above the current price level, and also keep an eye on the volume to see if it continues to surge. Key levels to watch will be the previous highs and lows, and we'll be keeping a close eye on this stock. That wraps up our final pick for today. Don't forget to subscribe for daily TSX signals. Thanks for watching NorthFlow Finance. Subscribe for more, and remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research.